Okay, so thank you so much for joining us on this last session of our webinar series, Archicad Now for Engineers. As we all know, we have been seeing the workflows related to structural discipline for creating the BIM model using Graphisoft products. So the workflows that we are showing here are more for structural discipline, but some of these or most of these workflows can be applied for architectural and MEP disciplines also by using different settings. So I would like to highlight here that this webinar series is more towards the structural discipline. All right, for people who have not who have missed the previous sessions, so you can watch the webinar recordings that is posted on our YouTube channel. So please scan the QR code here to watch the videos later, or make note of the tiny URL on the screen that is shown right now, so that you can watch the videos later. All right, so let me do a short recap of what we have been seeing in this webinar series. So on the first session, we were seeing how to create a project and set a project for structural BIM modeling in Archicad based on the information that we get from the Archicad model. Okay, so after that, on the second session, we were creating the structural BIM components like beams, walls, slabs, columns, foundations inside the project. And then we were also trying to create or generate the analytical model, structural analytical model within Archicad using the structural model generation rules. And on the third session, we saw the interoperability options, the interoperability workflows using OpenBIM standards like OpenBIM formats like SAF, structural analysis format, which is a proprietary format by um, Namaste group, but it is available for everyone to use. So people, anyone wishing to develop the SAF import and import options in the any software will be able to do that. And also in BCF and IFC format. And finally, on the fourth session, we saw buildability score for BCA and also for Malaysian standards to calculate the B score in BCA buildability format, and then the IBS score for Malaysian standards. And also we saw how to compute the concrete usage index from the Archicad model, and then we saw how to publish the model using the publisher or in the navigator. All right, on the fifth session, we saw how to do the detailing, that is to do the dimensions, and then to show the details in the model, and also to create markers for beams, slabs, columns, etc. And on this session, we are on the sixth session today, which is the last session. And today we are going to see coordination related workflows. So this session is not just for structural engineers. This session's workflow can be applied for other disciplines also. So if you guys are architects or MEP engineers, you can still follow the session today. All right, so we are going to see collaboration using Archicad today. The agenda is to see the collision detection within Archicad, and then to track changes using BIM Cloud, using the teamwork features, and then we will see the model compare options, and then the final one is issue management. So let's go straight to the demo. All right, so this is a sample project which is having an architectural model, structural model, and the MEP model inside integrated as one integrated model. All right, so we'll do the clash detection or the collision detection here. Okay. All right, go to design, model check, and then collision detection. Okay, so the collision detection dialog box will appear, and here we can select the criteria for group 1 and group 2. Okay, so there are some preset criteria available here. We can make use of them, like all elements or all 3D elements. Such options are available. But if in case you want to create your own criteria set here, you can click custom, and then you need to add the criteria here from the properties and parameters. So you can choose the parameters or properties that you want to add here, and then based on that, the criteria will be set. But we also have options to export and import criteria sets from other projects also. you can store as a by giving it a name, or we can rename it, we can delete it, export and import options. So for both criteria sets, groups, we can have different criterias. So for today, maybe we just have 3D types to another 3D types. So both the groups are from 3D types. We are using the criteria 3D types. All right. After that, under tolerances, we can give the volume tolerance here, maybe like zero point 0.1 meter cube, or depending on the need, you can enter the value. And we can also check for surface collision. And for that, we need to check this box, and then we need to enter the surface tolerance of uh, required meter square. Okay, so I just leave it as 0.01 for now, and then click check. All right, so we'll be able to see, sorry, just a minute. Okay, I'm not able to undock this. Okay, so I'll just show it from here only. So if you scroll inside, so we will have all the collision detection based on the criteria that we set. And if you double click any of these, say for example, let me choose something. Okay, so if I double click this, you can see this cabinet and the structural column is colliding with each other. Okay, so you can select, double click on each collision, and it will show the selection, and then you can zoom into that particular location. Okay, all right. So after checking the collision report, if you want to create a issue out of that, we have create new issue option here. Okay, so just click create new issue. New issue dialog box will appear, and then you can enter a name for it. And then the issue, for the issue details, you can just click the issue details icon here, and then you can enter, you can change the name, or if you want to add any responsible person, you can enter their name. You can change the status to open, assigned, resolved, or closed. You can change these values in your template also. And for the priority, you can make it urgent, high, medium, or low. For the type, you can make it inquiry, remark, suggestion, request, clash, or model issues. So all this you can change, and you can even set a due date, like maybe 1 week or something, and then and so on. So you can add a description here about the issue that you want to register, and if there are any history of, for this issue previously, that will be shown here. Currently, this is just a new issue, so there is no history for this. I can just click OK. Maybe I just give issue 01. Okay. All right, so inside the documents, we have issue manager and issue organizer. So let me first go to the issue organizer, and you can see the issues that we have created from the collision detection report. Okay, so if you want to open this, just double click it. You can open the issue manager. It opens the issue manager with that particular issue. So if you see here, there is a view added to it, and then there are two components that are highlighted. One is the railing, another one is the floor. Okay, so these are the details of the issues for now. And if you have added any comments, the comments will be visible here. So you can add comments now also. Okay. All right. So if you want to do any markup for the image, you can just click right click the view and then click markup image. And then inside the paint, you can do the markup, something like this, and then save it. And you can see that the markup will be available on the view. Okay. So if you want to delete, we have options to delete, and if you want to add new views, you can go ahead and add new views. Okay. So there are options to rename, redefine to current views, we can view the image, we can export and import images from other sources also. Okay, so the list the list can be lists or medium images or large sized images. So this view settings can also be changed. All right, so I will close with the issue manager for now. I will again go back to the issue manager after showing the track changing things. So we are done with the collision detection for now. So I'll go to the another model. All right. Yeah, so this is my screen, which is on the left, inside which I have the model that we have been using for the previous sessions. And on the right side is Rima screen. So Rima will be joining to this project when I share this with BIM Cloud. Okay, so the first step is to share this project with BIM Cloud. I'm going to teamwork, project, share. Okay, so inside the your BIM Cloud, I'm just adding it to the change tracking folder. Okay, so with the current name, just click share. So now we are going to see the track changes. So I will create some subscriptions for the components. Whenever Rima does some changes, I will get notifications here. So we are going to see how to set up the track changes palette and create the subscription for that. All right, the project is now being shared. On the other side, Rima is joining to the same project. So inside the track changes, she's joining to the same project. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, click open. Yeah, so she's joining. So meanwhile, I'll show you guys how to create subscription. Let me first open the teamwork palette.
Hang on, Vimal. I will
Maybe
have
just
to join again.
close,
Yeah.
yeah, close Archicad and open again.
Yeah. Just give me a moment.
Sure, sure, sure. I'll wait for you.
Okay, it's opening now.
Yeah, I can see your name here on my teamwork palette. Yeah, you're already joined. So for adding changes, the track changes, just go to the teamwork, click change tracking. Okay. So my change tracking palette is open. So if I want to add subscriptions, click the new subscription on the bottom left. Okay, so if I click new subscription, a new subscription dialog box appears. I just can give a name here. So for now, I'm just giving by criteria. Okay, so there are three options here. One is criteria, the other one is selected elements, and the other one is project data. So we'll see one by one of them. So first is criteria, and then I give okay. So if you can see here, I can set criteria for tracking the changes. Say for example, if I want to just track the changes that is done in wall, I can select the element type to wall. Okay, and the element parameter sets that I need to track. Maybe I just want to have geometry and positioning, floor plan and section, and model appearance. Others, I just give I just uncheck it. Okay, so under the elements parameter sets. Okay, on teams and users, there is everyone here. So this lets to track the changes from everyone, but I just remove it and then I add Rima's name here. Okay, now if I want to add one more subscription, I can do. So click new subscription, and then now I will just make it by selected elements. Okay, by selected elements, and then I need to click OK. Now I need to select the elements here. Okay, and then add them here inside my track changing subscription. Okay, you can see that I've added these two walls to the subscription list. And again, I just wanted to track the geometry, positioning, floor plan, and model appearance. I don't want the layer, structural function, renovation, classification, and properties. I'm just unchecking them. All right, again, going to the teams and users, I just remove the everyone and then add Rima's name here. Okay, so the last subscription would be by project data. All right, so just click OK. So here you'll be able to see the list of data that can be tracked. So for now, let me just track the story settings and the structural analytical model generation rules. So I just uncheck everything and then check the one that I wanted. Okay. Again, on the teams and users, just remove everyone, add Rima's name into it. Okay, now I just click apply here and make it shorter. Okay, so now if Rima does any changes, I'll get a notification here. So Rima will go to that component. No, she will do the changes. So she is using the pet palette to move the wall. All right, so she is creating a new wall there. She actually edited modified two walls, and then she has created a wall. So yeah. So now once she sends and receives, she's clicking send and receive here. I will also send and receive.
Yeah, done.
Okay, so you can see here there is a notification for 5 track changes, and also inside the pet palette of my teamwork, so you can see the track changes number 2, subscription number 2, and number 3. Okay, so let me see one by one. Just double click that. You can see subscription by selected elements, and there are two walls that have been modified. So these are the two walls that I subscribed for selected elements, and those two have been modified by Rima. So those two are shown here. Okay, so here I can just receive the changes, or I can receive change then compare. Okay, so I just click receive change and then compare now. Okay, let me just make my screen bigger for now so that it's easy for you guys to see. Okay, so once I double click that and open the issues, I mean the changes, and I can double click, it will open the model compare view. So this is the model compare view where the components are shown in 3D. The components that are not edited or in transparent, I can make that fully transparent by using this slider here. So if I want to make it solid, just bring it to this end. So for viewing the components better, I just make this fully transparent. And if you see on the top, there is red color is the old model and the blue one is the received model. So they have been automatically set by Archicad. The old one is red and the received one is blue. So if you want to see them, just zoom into that location. And if you see here, if I move the slider towards red, I can see the old model. And if I move it towards the blue, I can see the new one. And if I keep somewhere in between, I can see both. All right, so this way we can find out, we can compare the model using this track changes. And here I can set view selector criteria also. So here I'm just using the 3D view. If you want to use any other 3D views that are available in your project for model comparison, we can set the views to that views. Or we also have structural analytical model comparison here. So if you import the SAF file, that is the Excel file, you can compare the structural analytical model also. So for that, what you need to do is we need to set the old model to current model and then the new model to browse from file or browse from BIM cloud. So we can select the SAF file and then compare the models from that. I'm not going into it now, but I'm just showing the details that these options are available to not just compare the structural model, but I mean not just compare the BIM model, but also the structural analytical model can be compared using the model compare options. All right, so coming back here, I can select the criteria here. So if I select all 3D elements, so it shows everything. Uh, this one previously was just by selected elements. I have chosen all, so it's showing all. So now if I select subscription by criteria, again it shows everything because everything comes under criteria because I was selecting the criteria as wall. So whenever Rima does the changes in wall, I'll get them. So you can set that to see the criteria based on the criteria. And again, in the checklist, you can select the option that you want to compare. But since as per the criteria, subscription by selection, we have already selected the criteria while I'm subscribing. So for that, it's grayed out now. But if in case you are selecting the model manually here for model comparison, then you can select the criteria that you want to compare. All right, and finally on the settings, you can select the the branch or the hierarchy in which this should be displayed. Say for example, if you want the tool to be on the top, so you can see it is showing wall tool is used, and under the wall tool there is a one modified and there is one addition. Okay, so if you double click it, it will go to that component and it will select the component. Okay, so this way you can compare the previous model and then the current model. This one is a new addition, so it is blue, just blue in color, and these are blue and in red color because they are modified. All right. Okay, now if I want to create issues out of this, say for example, if I'm not accepting these changes that are done by Rima, I need to create an issue out of this. So for that, I need to select all the components inside my model compare palette, and then right click onto that and then add to new issue. So in the pop-up menu, I just click add to new issue. Again, you can see new issue dialog box appear. Inside here, we can create single issue out of all these components, or I can uncheck this to have multiple issues for each and every component, like multiple issues for each component. Okay, so I just give 02 maybe here, or just 01 because that was the another model. So I just give 01, and then for the details here, I can give a name of Rima here just for description. I can select the status to revision, make it medium or high, type to suggestion, and then the due date is by 1 week. And then on the description, I just give check with structural engineer. Okay, and then click OK. So after entering the issue details, I just click OK here. You can see in the issue manager, this particular issue is selected, and inside the elements, the components, sorry, okay, I just click cancel because I by mistake I selected accept. Okay, so okay, so if you see here, let me just delete this issue and create a new issue because since I accepted it, it went to the highlight. I'll just create a new issue out of this. Check with structural engineers and click OK. Click OK. So if you see here, Archicad will automatically select the components into the right category. So if you see here, these two are modified. So it automatically went to the modify category, and there was one component that was newly added, so it automatically went to the delete category. So you need not select the components manually, but if in case you are selecting or creating your own issue, which I showed earlier, so there maybe you have to select the components to right category manually. All right, now if you want to add views, just go back to the views and click add new view. Maybe I just give 3D view here and click OK. So as I told earlier, you can just right click and do some markup if it is required. So I'm just not doing anything now. You can export the images, you can import new images, all that you can do, or you can delete the view if you want. All right, so now let me open the Okay, so let me open the issue organizer. So this is the issue organizer, or if you don't want to open from here, we can open from the palette here, go to the document and issue organizer. Here comes the issue organizer. Inside here, if you want to assign it to the other person in your project team, I can choose the person. So here I'm choosing Rima, and then I'm assigning, and then I will assign and send the data from my project. Okay, so now so you can see here it is now assigned to Rima, so it shows it is reserved by Rima. So let me minimize my screen. Okay, so you can see here Rima has received the assignment here on her screen. All
So
right,
once I
Rima. Yeah.
yeah, so once I have received, I can simply click on show to get the highlights. I'll just click on receive and show. So it will open up the issue organizer for me. Okay. And if I double click on this, I can get the details which Vimal has added. So I have the 3D view here along with the elements that are being modified, and if in case there's anything deleted. So all these three elements are listed here. So I can simply click on these elements, okay, right click and go to selected. Let me just move them aside so that we can see what's on the screen. So as you can see, it will highlight here in the model, right? So I can simply right click and pick up show selection marquee in 3D. So it will show me the elements that are being commented or the issue has been created. Okay, so you can zoom into those elements to take a look at them. So once I have reviewed, or if there is anything to update or further comment upon, we can do the same, or I can just click on accept all. It seems it's been reserved, so let me just request. Yeah. So Vimal, you must have received.
Yeah, I will send and receive first, and then okay, let me release them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have released.
Okay. So I'll send and receive too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So let me just accept.
yeah. So once you have accepted it, the deleted one is automatically deleted from the list. The other two, which is modified, has moved to the highlight list. Okay,
Yeah.
so you
Correct.
can, yeah, so you can assign back or send and receive to me.
Okay. It's done.
Yeah, you can see the components here I received. It's just highlighting here now. It's not showing the red color one. It's just showing the highlighted one. The other one, the wall that is inside here, is removed already. Okay, so if I go to story 2, you can see clearly here. Story 1. So the wall that has been added here is removed, and then these two components are just highlighted as just shown in Rima's screen there. Okay. Okay, so yeah. So for the model compare, I'll just show one more time. You can select the model from here. You can just choose the current model. But if in case you want to compare it with the previous model, uh, like 1 week before or something, you could have just saved it as a PLA file or PLN file, and then you can just choose from browse for file or browse from project BIM Cloud. Okay, so you can choose any. You if you see in the options here, there is structural analysis format, which is the Excel format. So you can choose that and select the Excel file and then compare the model also. Okay. Uh, the other thing I wanted to show finally is if you want to create an issue, right? So manually, let me just go to story 2. So I just open the issue organizer. Yeah. So I'll just explain the issue organizer here. You can see here, this is the issue that we previously created. But if you want to create a new issue, just create new issue from here. This is done manually. The previous method which we showed was created using the model compare, and from model compare, we created the issue directly. But if you want to create the issue manually, you can just click here. So if you want to add a response to the previous issue, you can do that. Since I have selected the previous issue and then I've created the thing, it's showing us like that. If I want to create, I can do that. So maybe I just create another issue number 2, and then if you want to change here, just add the details here and then click OK. Click OK here. So if I double click this, the issue manager will be opened. Let me just make it bigger. So inside the issue manager, you need to add the components manually here. Okay, so say for example, I just add this wall here. So I just add this wall. I just select that wall and then click to modify. Okay, you can see that the model, the wall has been added and it is added to the issue manager list. And if I modify this, you can see there are two options. One is the previous one and the other one is the modified one. So the issue has been added, and if you want to add a view to it, just click this. I give this 2D view and click OK. So the view is here. As I told earlier, you can do any markup. You can do the markup like this and then save it. The markup will be reflected on the image here. Okay. So all right, so this is how manually you have to create the issues. Once you create the issues, if you want to export them in BCF format, you can do that. So we have options here inside the issue manager settings. You have options to open, rename, view the issue details, assign issue tags to them. So priority tag, status tag, type tag, you can change it from here. And the other options are to export and import issues. So export, if I click export, I can export it in BCF format. So for BCF format or in Excel format also. So in BCF format, we have version 1 and version 2.0 and 2.1. We can use any one depending on the project that we are working on, and then click it, save it in the local file or in the BIM cloud. So we have options to export to BIM cloud or import from local file or import from BIM cloud also. Adjust the view of the issues. Here is the list view. If you want to make it small or big images, you can do all that. All right. So this is how the issue has to be managed manually. Yeah. So with this, we came to the end of this demo. We'll go back to the slides. Yeah, so please follow us on this social media handles for any information from our side. And as I told earlier, we have posted the previous webinar recordings on our YouTube channel. You can just search for Graphisoft SG and find the recordings from there. All right, if you need any trainings from us for basic training or advanced training or modeling or advanced documentation, please reach out to us, or you can just go to our Learn portal and then identify or look for the trainer-led session inside where you can find the latest trainings. You can register for that there. All right, so I just open up for Q&A. If you have any questions, please ask.
Yeah, Vimal, yeah.
Yeah.
There is a question from Ricky. I did answer, but I want you to take a look and answer as well. Ricky was asking, when setting up the model change subscriptions, what was the reason for removing everyone and manually adding Rima?
Okay, so it's up to you. If you want to just have one person, you can add. But I just wanted to show the option that you can, subscribe for only one person. But if you want to track from everyone, it's well and good. You can go ahead.
Okay, so my answer was like, by default is everyone.
Yeah.
But sometimes we want to monitor the changes from one particular person, right? So then we can mention one user.
Yeah, right? Just to show the option, I did that. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Ricky, yeah, my answer is correct. It's not because of the performance issue. You're right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Vimal and Rima. It's very well done. Simple and easy to understand. Thank you. Any other questions from the participants? Can schedule the issues. Can you schedule the issues?
I think
he is asking. There is, let me check here. Yeah, issue history and all those things are there.
Okay. Okay. So let me go to project map.
There is an issue history, but this is no, this is more on the drawing side. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that is the transmittal settings.
Yeah.
So I think we cannot.
But you can export as a Excel, so it's kind of like a list. You can get it. Yeah. We test it.
Yeah, we can export in Excel format here.
Not as an interactive schedule, but you can get it as an Excel list. Vicky, is that sufficient? It's an Excel sheet. When you export, you will have an Excel sheet with all the categories, all the details you have in the issue. At the moment, no images, but our developer, local, we have Ralph, he's also in the call. He have created an Excel plugin which can convert a BCF file into a Excel file where you can have the images also. Okay, so yeah, Ricky is okay with it.